Hi everyone, welcome back on the show. Actually, this is the first season. This is the first episode this season. I'm very delighted to be back. And so on this season, of course, I'm joined by my co-host. You guys, if you guys have been paying attention or been watching the show, you'd have seen Mahmoud come on a couple times. But today, from this season, is no longer a guest. He's now a co-host, and he will be joining us on this show on Football Fan Zone. Pius, man, it's good to have you back. What's going on?
Yeah, it's good to be back, man. Thanks, Adams, for having me. It's amazing to be here. Looking forward to the season. Looking forward to exciting, magical football. I can't wait. Let's get started.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, glad to have you back. And today we have a special guest in the building, who is with the work that he's doing, of course, in the sports lounge, and of course in Nigerian football as well. We see all the work you do with Sporting Lagos. Awesome work there. But today we're not talking about that today. Today, you're here to talk about a different thing entirely. And they also call you the agenda god, man. It's really
Wow.
nice to have you on the show today. How's it going?
Well, thanks a lot. It's good to be here. The name Agenda God is because I always have like a reason for watching every game, and whenever like I want to give my feedback about a game, I like put it in like bullet points. So they're like, this guy always has agenda. So like it just stopped. It was my friends that actually gave me, and then I now came with like a slogan for it: Agenda God, cooking tomorrow's agenda today. So for example, like I've already started looking at Tuesday and Wednesday's Carabao fixtures, and I'm telling you the teams I think will go through and the teams I think will go out. I'm already looking at next weekend's Premier League games and I'm telling you who I think will win, who I think will lose. But funny enough, people feel like I'm very good at betting. I don't bet a lot online because it's very, 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 very easy to lose. So what I do is like I do wagers like in person. So I can say I don't think Chelsea will make top four with one person, and I know that okay, that's my only wager this season. Rather than when you go online and you do like an accumulator and then yeah. So yeah, I'm also a West Ham United fan, and like Ajibade said, I love football. I lead business development and partnerships for the Sports Lounge and Sporting Lagos as well.
Yeah, man, absolutely. Like it's so good to be with football royalty this evening or this afternoon, wherever you are. And of course, you said you're a West Ham fan. Before we get started, how did you become a West Ham fan?
Oh, okay. So first of all, I will start with when I traveled to the UK in 2004. So I stayed in Stratford. Actually, I stayed in Wanstead, but that area is in and around where Stratford Stadium, that's West Ham Stadium is, which is in Stratford. So I saw that that area of town had developed from when I went there in 2004 till the next time I went to that area of town in 2013 after the Olympics. So like I felt part of the story. Like I was here in 2004. I saw how in quotes dead this area was from Leighton to Leytonstone to Wanstead, right? And Stratford. And coming there in 2013 because of the development that the British government and of course the IOC did for the Olympic Games that I was to attend, but I didn't attend for some personal reasons. It was really, really good. And I just found a way to fall in love with West Ham. So it was actually in 2013, West Ham became my second team. I was actually a Manchester United fan at that time. But when my best manager, Mourinho, took the job to manage Manchester United and he was sacked in 2018, December 18th to be precise, I said, if Mourinho cannot take Manchester United out from the trenches, I don't believe any coach, as at then, there are a lot of coaches that have come up now and a lot of old coaches that have improved, right? So as at then, I felt like Mourinho was the best coach that could take United from the trenches to the promised land. So I now promoted West Ham from my second team to my first team. And funny enough, I've never looked back. First season was very difficult. We had a relegation bottle race thanks to Chelsea, Yarmolenko, Rudiger. We nicked that, and since then, I'm currently in my third straight season as a West Ham fan in Europe. So it's like maybe I was the good luck charm West Ham needed all along.
Interesting. That's a very interesting story. That's how you became a West Ham fan. So let's get started. Today's game, I don't know when this will be out, but the game this weekend, Liverpool versus West Ham. Pizu, being a Liverpool fan, you predicted a win for that game. Was it smooth sailing? Was it what you expected from West Ham, or did you find them Do you think you were a little bit difficult, especially against City? I think they were resilient, but the quality was just too much for them. How did you see the game against West Ham today?
Well, from my point of view, I think I was a bit disappointed with West Ham. I kind of expected a little bit more resistance from them, but the way the game panned out, I just felt they could have given more, but they didn't show their quality. I think West Ham are a decent side, like they're a very good side. Like I've been impressed with them. Like last season and the early part of this season, they've really shown that they can really rock it, like go shoulder to shoulder with anybody in the league. Like you mentioned last week against City, they gave City a real run for their money. It was at some point we were looking like wow, they could actually pull off one of the upsets of the season thus far. So I expected a bit more from them, but I was kind of disappointed. Even though at some point in the game, I'll count Liverpool a bit lucky as well to end up winning that game, because I thought West Ham still had some decent chances, which as mean they had scored, the game would have ended differently. So yeah, a bit disappointed in there, but as a Liverpool fan, is what I expected Liverpool to win, and that's what ended up happening. So yeah, good
Yeah,
work
so
for
it's
Liverpool.
prior to saying he was disappointed in West Ham, do you share the same sentiments, or you think slightly different from that?
Yes, I share the same sentiments. First of all, every season there are some games I don't expect to win, but there's also some games I expect to pick points up from. Today was one of the games I expected us not to win, but I expected us to get something because there are two people that always terrorize us when we play them. That's in Liverpool's team, and that's Salah and Trent Alexander-Arnold. So when I heard that Trent was injured for I think 4 to 6 weeks with an hamstring, I was like, okay, we stand a chance. When I saw our performances against Brighton and Hove Albion, Chelsea, even the City game that we lost, I'm talking just quality of performances. I felt like we stood a chance. If Chelsea, who is, sorry to say, this poor, could give Liverpool that sort of performance in the first match day of the season, I expected us to get a draw. But I feel like it's the same story season and season again, where Moyes will get a goal against these better quality sides and just sit back and not go for another. We've only seen it once this season, and that was in the Brighton game. Even Chelsea, after West Ham scored, we sat back. It's just that Chelsea was not just clinical with their chance and with their chances, and that's why like we won that game. I didn't really enjoy our performances against Chelsea. I didn't enjoy our performances against Luton Town as well, but we got the result. So why I'm not also so disappointed is just imagine if we lost to the teams we're not, sorry to say, supposed to beat, with all due respect to them. Brighton away, Chelsea at home, City, which we lost, and Liverpool. That means we would have had 4 defeats in 6 games. That means we would have only gotten 4 points from Luton Town and Bournemouth. So why everybody has raised the bar for West Ham United so far is because of the performances in the games they don't expect us to win, right? And that's Brighton and Chelsea. But so far, so good. I've not really enjoyed some of our performances, even against the so-called small sides. First game, Bournemouth, I didn't enjoy it. Luton Town, I didn't enjoy it, even if we won. Chelsea, I didn't enjoy it, even if we won. City, we lost, I didn't enjoy it. But one thing I'll just take away is the fact that when a team has a system, right, they'll find ways in and around. Jota scored, Nunes scored. Those are not guys that torment us normally when we play them. But the fact that Klopp has set up a sort of like functioning system that any round hole can just fit in, any round peg rather can fit into a round hole, it just makes it easy. And that's what Moyes has failed to understand. So, for example, I told someone with the performance of Kudus midweek, I expected him to start, and one of Paqueta or Antonio should have rested for Kudus to play on the right wing and Bowen to lead the line. Moyes didn't do that. Moyes still went with his normal unchanged exile. And I was like, Moyes should change. When I mean change, like I know Moyes is like a defensive minded manager, but there are some games that you can actually look at your position, right, and see that okay, these guys are actually not as good as they were or used to be. And even when Liverpool was hot, we still lost, I think, 1-0 and 2-1 to them last season. So, yeah, I was disappointed by today's result. But at the same time, like you said, Ajibade, at the opening remarks, it was quality that showed. Like when we brought people like Fornals, Kudus, and Co from our bench, Liverpool brought people like Gapo, Wataru Endo, Jota, and those are the people that sort of like made the difference. So it was quality on the pitch and even on the bench that gave Liverpool 3 points today.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
hear you when you talked about taking the game to Liverpool. But don't you think part of your success last season and maybe in this season is to become, a little rigid and a little more defensive. Anytime West Ham are try to play elaborate football or try to quote unquote copy the attacking teams, they always find themselves in a hole. But I feel like West Ham, going back to basics, doing what they do best, which is, trying to hit the teams in the midfield, set pieces, the dark arts. But once you guys try to, be more elaborate, try to take the game more to teams like Liverpool, Man City, don't you think it will be more difficult for you guys to win?
Well, you have a good point, right? And this would my rebuttal to your point. My rebuttal to your point is against Brighton, I think we had 19% of the ball, an away game. Against Chelsea, a home game, I think we had 26 or 30% of the ball, a home game. Being clinical is different from having possession. So I agree with your point about not playing elaborate football against this big opposition. But I gave an example of City. The performance against City was not really elaborate, but one of City's best and most exciting players that day was Jeremy Doku. And coincidentally, the person who Jeremy Doku destroyed or dealt with was also one of our best players in Vladimir Sufal. So I agree with what you're trying to tell me, but I'm trying to say like let me give a tactical analysis briefly. Liverpool played McAllister in a six, one Nigerian score number four row. There was also a mismatch, in my opinion, with Joe Gomez and Paqueta. If you played a Berama Fornals, right, going to Gomez, that would definitely have been better. And I know hindsight is 2020. If you did these things, we could have still lost. But the truth is, when your position analysts already do the business and you know that okay, Pop is likely not going to start Wataru Endo as your sitting four or sitting six, and because of Trent Alexander-Arnold's injury, he's not going to play at right back. So it's either maybe a Matip Gomez plays right back or a Kwanzaa comes in and they play right back, right? Those are the areas and channels I feel we have gone for. And this brings me to one of my um, agendas about my team. Thomas Suchek is one of my biggest assets and biggest liabilities as a player. I saw that once Nunes scored his second goal, he was the first person we subbed off today. And it's just because of what he offers. When Thomas Suchek is not scoring from set pieces, he's basically useless on our team. Should he start? I think he should, but I feel like sometimes he shouldn't at the expense of
Not
someone like
consistent.
Antonio starting. Yeah. So for example, today I was very, very disgusted that Kudus didn't start. Like this guy came on, forced an own goal against Taska Bakola, and he had a goal, a very neatly worked goal. So it basically had like a brace, but one was counted for him and one was counted as an own goal. The least you can reward him as manager is starting him, especially when our next two games are Lincoln City away and Sheffield United, who just conceded 8 goals today to Newcastle.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I hear you. I will come back to West Ham a bit, but please, from your side of things as a Liverpool fan, how did you see that game? Nunes again, well, some chances that he should be scoring. He seems to score the more difficult chances, don't you think? And of course, Salah continuing, his beautiful form in front of goal. I spoke to you privately about Salah. There's something different this season. If he's not scoring, he seems to be assisting. It looks like he has taken more of like a leadership role in that front three. Can you talk to us a bit about how you saw your attack today?
Yeah. So the attack was from Liverpool was just like as I expected. Nunes Nunes has improved drastically. He has been, as in, I've been so impressed with him this season. I'm one of like Nunes. Like I always have doubt about him. Like since he joined Liverpool, and throughout last season, I was like, I'm not sure. It's like we've wasted money here. Like this deal has not materialized the way we would have expected it. But I think this season he has brought something different about him. There's a bit of confidence in his finishing, even though he still misses, like you mentioned, like he still misses some chances that you expect him to score. But I still feel like this season he has just he has edged it up a bit. There was something he mentioned during one of his post-match interviews after the Newcastle game where he came on and scored the brace that won us the game. He's Uruguayan, and the Uruguayan national team just appointed Marcelo Bielsa as their
Marcelo
coach.
Bielsa, yeah.
Yeah, so he mentioned something like Marcelo Bielsa has kind of been speaking to him about his movement and his finishing. So I think because Marcelo Bielsa is somebody like I respect so much, as in he's somebody like I'm out by him. I see him as a very fantastic man manager. So I'm like, okay, I can understand where his confidence is coming from and all. So Nunez is somebody that this goal today was wow, well taken goal. I was like, beautiful goal. So yeah, good one for Salah. Well, like you mentioned, man, Salah has changed. It's like he's not that, with age, he has to kind of like reinvent himself. He won't be that 30 something goal striker like before. Even though last season he still scored like 20 something goals in all competitions. So he's someone that he has had to reinvent his game, and he has tried to like he's more of a creator, and he has that in his locker. He can give that killer pass. He's I'm sure if not for Nunez poor finishing, sometimes I'm sure he's supposed to be like double figures in terms of assists. Man, the guy is something else. Too much. Well, as in when there was the speculation around Saudi Arabia, I was someone that was I was looking at many Liverpool fans saying, why don't we sell him now? He's 31, take the 150 million now and then reinvest it. I'm like, you guys you don't really know the worth of this guy, man. This because I feel like this season we can achieve something huge. I'm like, if we sell him, then we're going to undercut our chances. So I was so happy that we didn't sell him. That at the end of the day, he ended up staying. But in terms of the game in general, good one from Liverpool. I felt the first half were poor and we're a bit lucky. West Ham had some
Yeah,
chances early on in the game,
yeah.
which
First
if they had,
15 minutes,
yeah, if they had taken
the
their chances,
penalty
like
was
yeah, yeah, like I mentioned to you, like I said, Liverpool is a team that from last season, and I think it has also still remained part of our game, is we concede a lot of chances. I'm not sure. I'll look at the stat around that, but I think we concede a lot of chances, and if I think we're kind of we get away with it. Like teams don't take their chances. I'm just imagining, as like something he mentioned. Like I was surprised Mohamed Kudus did not start because I felt that's someone that would have been a threat for our defense. So I was like, I'm just, but in all, I'm glad, I'm happy that we won 17 games unbeaten. Bring it on. I think we're going to challenge this year. Let me stop there.
Yeah, before we move over quickly to other teams, right? There's something. Let's talk about the transfer window. I've been very impressed with West Ham. They got a lot of money from the sale of Declan Rice, which great leader for your team, asset for your team, very instrumental in winning your first European competition. How impressive has it been? With the players you've brought in, James Ward-Prowse, for instance, has come in and fitting like a glove. We mentioned Mohamed Kudus, who I still feel a team like Chelsea, could have signed or bought. And I think he also signed this guy from Dortmund. I forgot his name now. We're trying to sign. Is it Alvarez, right?
Yeah, Alvarez, yes.
It was
Yes,
from Ajax, not just from
Ajax.
Ajax. It's
yes,
Alvarez.
yes, Ajax. We were trying to sign him 2 seasons ago, deadline day, but it didn't work out. Players like this, coming to West Ham, how does that make you feel? First of all, I'll go to Pius before I come to your agenda. But how does that make you feel as a Premier League fan, seeing teams like West Ham, bring players that that should be playing in top four, like you're playing Champions League, basically? Does it make it, a lot harder for you, or you feel like the competition is welcomed for or the like lesser teams, so to say, with all due
Yeah,
respect?
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. That's why Premier League is still like the undisputed like best league in the world. When you can attract such quality players like that are playing in Champions League, and you're bringing them to a team like no disrespect to West Ham, but like a team like West Ham, like it's amazing. Like it's another top player. I think it's something I wanted to ask the agenda god, but I think I just feel like David Moyes, for those kind of quality of players and David Moyes style of play, I just feel like they can be doing more with those that quality. I know it's something that the agenda god is we want to jump on. So let me just stop that. Let him respond. I just feel
Yeah.
David Moyes might not be the man to move them forward. Those quality of players. What do you think?
Yeah, so I'll first start with answering Ajibade's question. So about our windows, right? I'm very happy we did not sign a striker because there's a guy in our academy, Mobuma. I want him to get a chance this season, and I want us to sell Danny Ings
With Moyes,
or
Moyes, that guy to promote, to bring you through.
that's the thing. That's the thing. So I want us to sell Danny Ings so that Mobuma will get a chance, like in January, because I mean the window is gone. Then most of our signings were midfielders. We signed them Dinios Mavropanos from Stuttgart. We signed Mohamed Kudus from Ajax, Edson Alvarez from Ajax, James Ward-Prowse from Southampton. My best signing before the window closed was James Ward-Prowse. It's simple. We're a set piece team. offensively and defensively, right? Today was like the first time I think in 4 or 5 Premier League games that were conceding a goal from a set piece. And also a cross in the same match. Like there's one start in and around that. So basically, we're a team that plays with a lot of big men and big bodies, from Antonio, who presses from the front, to Ariola, who is I think 6'2", 6'3". So yeah, that's how impressed I was with my transfer window. I even feel like with I guess terrible performance today and Ogbona's terrible performance on Thursday, going into our League Cup and next Premier League game, Lincoln City and Sheffield, Genius Mavropanos will definitely get a start in one of those two games, because that was one area I wasn't impressed with the recruit. But I can't really blame them. They spent about 45, 50 million on Tilokera from PSG, and he has completely brought nothing to the table. So I feel like with the introduction of our technical director, Thomas Steinfeld, I can't pronounce his surname, we've actually improved in terms of recruitment. But the truth is, Moyes and what we recruit, they don't really work hand in hand. But the truth is, when people say, and this is to answer to you, Pizzo, when people say Moyes is not that guy, the truth is there's really little you can achieve above top five, top six, top seven. What I mean is Conference League Europa with this squad. Because if you are looking, all the seasons that we've not made top four, we've dragged the big boy with us. Last season, we finished what? 14th. Chelsea finished what? 12th. The season before, we finished just one level below Manchester United. No, everybody go collect now. Manchester United lost on the last day. It's because West Ham lost on the last day to Brighton that we did not go for the Europa League. I'm not angry again, because I mean we went to the Europa Conference League and we won it unbeaten. Aston Villa and Spurs and Leicester City have shown that Europa Conference League is not just as easy as it is. Those are the three other teams that represented England in the competition. So if a coach like Moyes is still getting Europe, and I mean, as recent as last season, still won silverware, I think he keeps his job as long as we can compete in the league regularly, which we are doing. In terms of playing style, the truth is we've tried expansive, like Ajibade said at the beginning of the pod. We've tried Slaven Village, we've tried Manu Pellegrini. It's not really a West Ham thing, and it boils down to, which I think we'll discuss before the end of today's pod, of what the hell Burnley is playing. You can be expansive, but you can be expansive with sense, because Vincent Company is really embarrassing a lot of Burnley locals who really loved Sean Dash. I think I'll stop here for now. Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, that leads us nicely into I think the biggest fixture today, this weekend again, was the London Derby. All right, please do. I see people smiling because he predicted a 2-2 draw.
Nice. Yes. I predicted 2-1 though for Arsenal.
Yeah, I was actually predicting 4-2 for Arsenal, but
what for? This is not Champions League against PSV.
I was like, with the way I thought Andrew was going to play, which he did, I thought Arsenal were going to, make better use of the chances that they got. I think they got some chances. They got some chances that were pretty decent. Now, on the normal day, Jesus was scoring that, right? Eddie Ketia was scoring that ball to maybe Odegaard or something, and it'd be 3-1. But yeah, I was a little bit surprised by a draw. And how do you guys feel about that game? And I've been hearing some mumblings about Arsenal. Arsenal are not quite the same like they were last season. Could they, challenge for the title this season? But every time I start to hear that, they do something like beat PSV 4-0. So where are we basically in that spectrum? Is it that Arsenal, they are trying too many things at once, or they will eventually get there, or is it just just a one-off result against a very decent Tottenham team?
Who goes first, Pizzo or myself?
Yeah, you can go first.
Okay, so first of all, I have to put this on live audio or video in this case, that at the beginning of the season, I tipped Arsenal to win the league against all odds. So I have an agenda for that. So Arteta has done 8-8-5-2. So I think this season is going to be one. So you've seen his progress in the project from 8 to 8 to 5th to 2. The worst that can happen for Arsenal is a second place finish. But with players like, even before his injury, we saw it. Yeah. Sorry?
I said, which isn't bad. Second place isn't bad.
Yeah, second place isn't bad, especially when City is the one that you are chasing, right? And not the COVID champions, Liverpool. Arsenal
Like you
seem
there.
to be Arsenal seem to be one or two signings away from fighting for the league. But the truth is, Ateta that has built this ship, he seems like he's the one that is likely going to break it. Today, as soon as I saw Jorginho and Bavet entering the pitch, I knew that the game was
Braves.
going. Yes, I knew that the game was going to either be a draw or Spurs will lose. And when I saw Spurs bring on Richarlison, I knew that they will not win. So there are just some type of players that come on, and you know that okay, this guy cannot contribute to the game. Rather, he will be more of a liability than an asset. When Rich Nelson entered, you saw life. When Smith Rowe entered, you saw life. Compared to what Jorginho did and what Bavet did,
Braves.
same thing for Spurs. So to answer your question, right? Do I think Arsenal are title contenders this season? Yes. I mean, according to the Arsenal fans, last season was top four. So this season they should definitely be title contenders. But I think Arsenal need early exits from a lot of competition, starting with their away game to Brentford, starting with trying so hard not to qualify for the round of 16 in the Champions because it's very obvious that this City team is challenging for another treble. City is not just fighting for the league, they're fighting for another treble. And it's going to be evident to people when you see their lineup for the League Cup this week. I think Tuesday or Wednesday when they are playing, or Thursday. City is going for another treble. And Pep is that type of manager. Another thing I want to add to Arsenal is today we saw that in as much as Raya seems to have the media to be the improvement of Ramsdale, I believe Raya is better than Ramsdale. But I don't think that is the only problem. I think Arsenal need an 11 and 9. I don't think Martinelli is there yet in terms of being world class. I don't think they have a 9. Their midfield is very, very good. It's like anytime Rice and Odegaard are on form, you can add any other missing piece and they will cook in midfield. For their defense, Saliba, Gabriel, and White are constant. If you play Zinchenko, if you play Tomiyasu, they slot him. So in the four areas of deficiency, like I said, left back, left center mid, left wing, and 9. If Arsenal can get just two, right? Because I mean, even in City, you don't have a perfect 11 like we have in classic XI or FIFA. If Arsenal can get two people to fill in those four positions I mentioned, because I feel Raya is up there in terms of one of the best goalkeepers in England and Europe as well. Arsenal can definitely fight for the race, but they cannot have deep runs in any cup competition if they want to properly challenge City for the league. Another thing is Arsenal is also unlucky with injuries. Uren Timber, my personal man of the match in the Community Shield, injured. Trossard, who I felt could have changed this game, injured. Declan Rice didn't play 90 minutes today. Why? He's injured. Where is Thomas Partey where you need him? Is what? Injured. But guess what? People like Havertz are fit 247. So like it's just really, really ridiculous that they also don't have fit players to go for a 38 game season. And this is just game week five, sorry, game week six. And Arsenal is having so many injury scares. And I've not even started talking about some people that are not first team players that are very injury prone, the likes of Mohamed El Neni, Emil Smith Rowe, Reece Nelson, and so on and so forth. Takahiro Tomiyasu. The list is endless. Cedric Soares, as a matter of fact, was on the bench today. That's to show you the state of Arsenal's injury crisis at the moment. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, Pizu, what
Well,
do you make of that game from a sports perspective now? For sports fans listening, you know, they would have thought they were going to lose. A very optimistic sports fan would have predicted a draw, right? And rightly so, it was a draw. How impressed were you with Tottenham?
wow, I was very impressed. I was very impressed. I even felt Tottenham should have won the game. I don't know. Some people would disagree with
With
me.
Richarlison,
No, I just felt like they had more like the second half. Arsenal was non-existent. Like they were just not. I just didn't see what they were offering. And I just I predicted correctly. I just felt going into the game like even as everybody saying oh, Arsenal is going to challenge, but I just felt like throughout this season Arsenal has not really been convincing. That like they've not really given that performance. I would be like, oh wow, City, watch out! Like these guys are going to chase you down or something. Because my brother is an Arsenal fan and he has been telling me like we've been winning, but he's not been convinced. So and I also looked at all those things and then Tottenham, the way they've been playing under this their new coach Ange, and there's this vibe around them. So I just feel that game might not be as easy as people were predicting because everybody was predicting Arsenal to blow them away. there's this Sky Sport pundit that everybody's hammering now on Twitter in the UK, Paul Merson, that was saying, "Oh, Arsenal will
Oh, let's
slaughter, Tottenham." And I was just like, "You guys should just calm it down a bit." Yes, Arsenal is a good team. I think they're going to challenge. In fact, I even told someone that this season I'm predicting a three-horse race: Man City, Liverpool, and
Oh,
Arsenal.
wow.
Yes, it's not
He
because
has
I'm
to,
a
You're
Liverpool
smuggling
he has,
fan.
Liverpool in, like
he has
we
to
Yeah,
didn't,
keep
we
up
didn't,
with
we
it.
didn't hear you.
I'm not. If I'm saying it, yeah, you can,
Oh my
for
God,
the record.
Europa League football. I'm talking from
I
experience. It's
told
not your
you. I
mate.
said,
Thursday, Sunday
I
league football is not your
no
mate.
worry,
I'll just drop this here.
no worries, man, no worries. I know, but you'll be surprised. You'll be surprised. This team is we're going all the way this year. We're going to challenge City.
well, let's address the elephant in the room. Chelsea again continue their poor form.
Ajibade, you wore the face cap and you said elephant in the room. So that was very hilarious.
and yeah, yeah, it was very terrible to watch. I like to see you guys take on that game. Maybe you didn't catch the game live, but of course, maybe you saw some of the clips, the highlights. What?
Actually saw, sorry to cut you, Ajibade. I actually saw split screen of almost all the 2 p.m. games, apart from Brighton Bournemouth, which was on Goal
Okay,
Rush.
so you
Yeah.
definitely saw some parts. And what is wrong? What is wrong? We saw we talked about Nunez not having enough confidence to convert some of his chances, and but still find a way to get the ball in the back of the net. And we have a striker like Jackson. What's going on at Chelsea, guys? Just make sense to the viewers. What exactly is going on with Chelsea? It feels like we're in a relegation battle already. Um, with Pochettino, is his future in the balance already? Is he someone that should be sacked? Maybe the next game against Brighton, if they don't win. If we don't win against Brighton, should they be calling for his head? What exactly is wrong with Chelsea? Kizu, you want to go
Hmm.
first?
Well, okay. To be honest, like the answer is just some. I just feel, from my point of view, I just feel Chelsea. It just feels. I don't know. I might be wrong, but it just feels like from the top. So like from the chairman to the board, it just feels like there's no direction around Chelsea. There's no strategy, around which Chelsea they want how they want to operate. It just feels like there's no synergy between the manager and then the board, or the manager and the technical director. You just feel like, oh, you hear things like, oh, they signed this player, and then you're just like, oh, the manager didn't approve of them signing this player, and then the player is now at Chelsea, and I just feel like they're just signing player. There's just the culture around the club right now is non-existent, and when that's the case, it just filters down to the pitch of play. It just feels like Chelsea now, you don't like, you're looking at Lavia. You're just like, what's happening with Remo Lavia? Because as a Liverpool fan, I'm kind of like, because I'm happy that Lavia and Caicedo are not performing. Like, it just feels like, so why did they sign all those amount of players? And then the confidence. Another thing is that the confidence into the players is low. Like,
Mm-hmm.
there are some chances like Sterling, Mudryk, and I think Jackson. Like, there are some chances that you're like, why they should have scored those chances. Like, they were there to be filmed. Like, why couldn't them just? So confidence is another thing. There's also like limiting choice. I don't think it's the fault of the manager. People are already calling for the sack of Poch. Poch is a good coach. I don't know. I just feel so bad for him. I like him as a manager. The problem is, it's not his fault. Chelsea just needs to get their ass together. And well, good luck
Well,
to
I
them.
mean, definitely, I have my personal opinions about that, but
Yeah.
Agenda go. What do you think?
Well, if we speak about Chelsea at Jibade, we won't leave here today.
We
So
need
I'll
another
just limit
we need
my
another
points. Yeah,
podcast for now. Yeah.
exactly. So I'll limit my points for the sake of time to just a 3 points agenda of what I think is wrong with Chelsea. So the first thing is I think Chelsea have a recruitment problem. Oh, this guy buying. Wow, this guy buying. Oh, this guy buying. To do what? To play what? Like every time I see Chelsea set up Gallagher, Enzo, and Caicedo, I ask myself, who is that guy that can throw in that final ball? None of them. Fullbacks that are meant to be primary source of creation in that type of system of three workhorse midfielders. Rich James spends more time in Evercare Hospital than a Cobham training ground. Chilwell, all of a sudden, the coach has come out to say he can play different positions, whether it's a left midfielder and so on and so forth. I feel like until Poch makes the bold decision of benching one of Colwill, Disasi, and Thiago Silva and play an out-and-out left back in form of one of the best left backs in the championship last season. I am Martin, Marco Corella, who, yes, has been under par and might be sort of like in a funny state of mental frenzy, especially as he's moved to Manchester United field. And as well, Benjamin Chilwell, who every single day, I feel like he's losing a spot in next year's Euros to one upcoming right back somewhere. The second problem I think is wrong with Chelsea is the fact that they lost a lot of leaders at the same time. Jorginho, Kovacic, I can't remember all the outgoings off the top of my head right now, but they sold so many players in and around the same time. There's a reason why for some clubs, they always tell someone to stay one extra year. The season Noble was meant to leave, they told him to stay one extra year because of Rice. The season Rice was to leave, Noble told Rice to stay an extra year before he leaves. Rice is under 25. The point I'm trying to make is everything needs a leader. Everything needs someone that can reset your head and say, guys, we are messing up right now. This is not what the manager said. Chelsea right now, their on-pitch leader sadly has been one of their poorest performers this season in form of Thiago Silva. Another person that is also meant to lead is Rich James. Like I said, more hospital than pitch. The vice captain, Ben Chilwell, more hospital. Now that his feet is on the bench, right?
Stayed out of position, left wing.
Exactly. Who holds the band when you guys start games these days? I don't even know. Is it Enzo Fernandez? Gallagher. How is Gallagher a leader? Do you get? So there are so many young people. And the last problem or issue I think with Chelsea is the fact that they are playing so many round pegs in square holes or vice versa. Sterling is better on the left than on the right, but because they bought Mikhailo Modric for 100 plus, they have to play him. I thought like that would be Noni's position, the right wing, and Sterling will lock down the left, and the number 9 will be Nkuku, Jackson, and Broja to rotate. But Nkuku injured. I don't know where Noni is. So the problems with Chelsea, I feel like, are more than selling one player, appointing a new coach, and so on and so forth. And last but not least, this is like my bonus point. This is not Roman era, right? No matter how much you can spend on buying players or building a team, everybody knows that Todd Bowley is not as ruthless as Roman. If not, Todd Bowley would never have appointed Lampard like he did last season and took Chelsea from 11th position to 12th position. I think I have to stop here because of time. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we actually, spent a lot more time that we thought. There's a lot more things that we should have spoken on, but I'll think we need to round up this episode. Many thanks to you, Ois, for jumping on today. Again, I know a game is currently going on, and probably missed that game, but thank you for joining. Pizu, also many thanks for locking it down today with me. So finally, I would like to get you guys' prediction before we call it an episode. So this will be on air. There will be evidence of this, right? So
I love this.
We start with Reese. What's your top four? Top four this season in the EPL.
Oh my God, this is really tough. I thought you wanted to ask me where I think West Ham will finish. That's why I was very, very excited.
We're going there.
Okay. So top four in no particular order. 1-2 podium, the way it is in Formula One, Man City and Arsenal, right? Third spot, I'm going to give Manchester United for one reason. Manchester United always know how to find their way back. And for now, with the benefit of doubt, I'm going to give my fourth position to Chelsea. The reason why I'm going to give my fourth position to Chelsea, in as much as I slandered Chelsea a lot, is because Chelsea don't have any form of Europe. 7 teams in England are playing in Europe. So it's going to help Chelsea and Tottenham in the course of the season, especially if some teams who I think will make deep runs in Europe, like Manchester United, I think they'll qualify from their group. Arsenal, I think they'll qualify from their group. City, I think they'll qualify from their group. Liverpool, I think they'll qualify from their group. West Ham, I think they'll qualify from their group. Aston Villa, I think they'll qualify from their group. The only English team I think who make it out of the group stages of the European competition, sadly, is Brighton and Hove Albion because of how their group was set up or is set up. Newcastle, with their away draw, I'm going to give them the benefit of doubt because I did not see that result coming. So in as much as I predicted at the draws that PSG and Dortmund will qualify, that result against Milan away at the San Siro, I will not speak on Liverpool and Newcastle's Champions League destiny again. I don't want to jinx them. I don't want to also jinx my earlier prediction. And yeah, my top four just once again is in no particular order: City, Arsenal, Manchester United, because of the fact that they always find a way, and I think Chelsea. Why I'm picking Chelsea over Spurs is when Chelsea players start coming from injury, players like Nkunku, Badashile, Fofana, I think Cowell is a better player than Fofana. But I'm just trying to say, like, when there are so many options for the manager, and you stop seeing players like Leslie Ugochukwu, David Washington, and some other names that are not heard of before this season, I feel Chelsea can have a good season, especially with no Europe involvement, especially if they play the way they played against Wimbledon and get knocked out of the League Cup this week. It will do them more good than harm.
I like to hear what PZ feels about your prediction.
I'm just shaking my head.
Even Liverpool is beloved.
No, I can't put Liverpool because of Thursday, Sunday football. I can't. And he's going to see why in the next couple of months. Europa will clear your eye, no worry.
PZ, what would you have to say to that? What's your top four?
My top four will be. I'm going to put the order to my own. I'm going to be very brave.
I like that. Evidence deal.
I'm going to go Liverpool to win its first position, champions.
Oh wow!
We're going to win it. City is going to come second.
I hope we won't have COVID next year.
When
funny enough,
something bad happens, right?
Funny enough, I'm hearing that there's some rumors around COVID coming back.
There's a variant. I was at the international airport on Tuesday, and there's a variant or a new strain in and around. So if COVID is going to come back, I may agree with that. But I don't want COVID to come back, please. I have travel plans next year. Olympics, Euros, and AFCON, please.
So, well, COVID or not, we're going to win. City, second place. Arsenal. And the fourth spot is going to be very interesting. It might be between United and Spurs.
Ajibade, please tell him to pick one.
Yeah,
no slash.
You have to pick one.
Spurs to finish fourth.
Yeah,
sorry, nothing for United or Chelsea. I'm sorry.
So basically, Liverpool, City, Arsenal, and Spurs for you.
Yep.
Bold. At least we both have City and Arsenal, so that still sort of like makes me happy that we're going to see a City Arsenal title race this season again.
Yeah, I don't know.
Sorry, you're adding Liverpool in yours. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so I just want to get from before, like, what's the new Thursday, Sunday? I don't know. I don't know why I'm not worried about it.
Let me break it down. Like, I know we like watch these things on TV, but let me break it down to you. Like, with the normal 5-a-side we play, imagine you travel from Lagos to Asaba, right, for a Thursday 5-a-side tournament. Thursday night, if it's a 24-hour airport, Thursday night you fly back, or if it's not a 24-hour airport, you sleep on Thursday. Friday you're on the road, right? You're having a session that Friday, sir. One light evening session. On Saturday, you're having a full session. It could be 2 or 3, morning, afternoon, evening, or morning and evening, right? Sorry, I'm a coach, by the way. I forgot to add that. My CV is really getting long. I really forget some things. I'm a Scottish FA UFRC licensed coach in view. So, and you're playing on Sunday. So just imagine what Newcastle did today. And that's why you saw I purposely didn't speak about Newcastle. Newcastle traveled to Milan. Their flight was delayed. Wednesday, they were on their way back. Thursday, they had a session. Friday, another session. Saturday, trip from Tyneside up north, all the way down to York to go to Sheffield. And they got a goalless draw against AC Milan, and they were able to score 8 goals with 8 different scorers against Sheffield United. So the point I'm trying to make with Liverpool is, personally, I don't think Liverpool have, 1, the squad, 2, the rotation spirit. Like, everybody knows Liverpool's front 3 is Salah and 2 others. Everybody knows your midfield 3 is McAllister, Szoboszlai, and 1 other. Everybody knows your defensive 4 is Van Dijk, Robertson, and 2 others. And everybody knows that you rotate between Alisson and Kelleher. So the point I'm trying to make is, if you were a team like maybe City, where you're only sure of 3 people starting every game in terms of Haaland, Rodri, and Ederson, I would have given you guys more slack. But I'm talking of both the fact that coach doesn't really rotate some key players in your team, the travel and the fatigue that comes with it. Let's not also forget, sir, in January, you're losing Salah to AFCON, and that is also going to be like a big miss. I know there's no European football in January. I'm just trying to say, like, imagine Salah coming February 11th from AFCON. Let's assume he finally gets that off his bucket list and wins, right? The next midweek, so AFCON final is February 11th, February 16th, the next week, European football is back. So just try and picture what I'm trying to say. Like, I know you're a fan, I know you're trying to be optimistic, but I've been there. I've been to a Europa League semi-final where Frankfurt kicked my ass. I've been to a Conference League final where I won, and this is my third season in Europe. And it is still why I tell people that Moyes is doing the best he can for West Ham. I don't think any coach can come to West Ham and compete Thursday football and do his or her thing in trying to make West Ham make top four. Because everyone keeps saying Moyes cannot take West Ham to like a level above what he's currently doing. And I agree because of the fact that he has constantly done well in Europe. Making semi-final and final in back-to-back European competitions is not definitely an easy task to do. Thank you.
Oh, awesome. That was that. I know Pizu definitely understands, of course, but as a fan, you always want the best for my team. But me right now,
well, true.
Me, I always I predicted my team to finish top four, but right now I can't say the same for my team.
It's early days, Ajiba. There's just 6 games.
That I know, but I haven't seen any sign. I'm not seeing any signs of.
Oh, I understand what you mean. No signs, yeah.
No signs. Like I trust the process. I'm not foolish enough to know that a process takes time, right? It's not FIFA. You can't just bring in 11 players. We have so many players coming, right? But but then again, I have to see something, right? I have to see. Let's say we're even scoring goals. We'll know that, okay, that's one off the list. If we're losing games 3-2, 4-2, 2-1, we can say our strikers are scoring or we have wingers scoring, but we can't even score. So how do I see into the future and say, okay, this team is able to do well? Because you need goals to win games. Like you can't keep playing draw 0-0. Once that team is able to nick that one goal, we've lost the game. So yeah, that's my little spiel about your always be good at Chelsea. Yeah, man, this was a very interesting episode. I can't wait for you guys to see this. Thank you again, Oris, for jumping on this.
You didn't ask me where I think West Ham will finish.
Oh, yeah. Before, I remember Mikel Antonio saying West Ham is going to finish above Liverpool.
Nah. He's an employer. I won't come here and say I feel Sporting Lagos will be relegated from the NPFL, right? So I understand what he's doing. Do you get? But personally, I don't share the same sentiment. But I also cannot blame him from giving that statement. So where I think West Ham finishes this season, I think we can go a step better than last season. Europa League is definitely tougher than the Conference League. I don't think we win it. I feel like top sides drop from the Champions League affects the chances of people that enter Europa League group stage from the start to win. So I'm going to give more as a quarterfinal exit and a top 8 finish in the Premier League. So I think we can finish top 8, 7th or 8th.
Okay, so I'm sorry. So you don't see West Ham going back because of Europa, but you see Liverpool. Okay, nice.
I gave an example for that. And if I want to remind you, we finished 7th in a season we made a Europa League final. Now ask yourself where Liverpool finished the last time you were in Europa. And please don't tell me it wasn't Klopp. So I have to use data at hand to prove my point. Do you get?
Ball is not data. But all right, I get your point.
This was definitely an interesting one. We have to bring.
Man, I enjoyed it, man. I enjoyed it. Please, I would love to be here.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks everyone for joining. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. I will see you in the next one.